gonna push you
Push
up.
you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. Oh, no, we can't
I
time this at all, can
wanna
we?
push you down. You need the
Well,
next
I
part.
will. Well, I will. I
I'll
wanna take
take
you
you.
for granted. Ba-dum,
I
I
wanna
wanna
take you.
for
Take
granted.
you. Take you. I will.
It's from the Barbie. It's from Barbie, guys. That's why we're singing it.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you make some noise? It's Nobody Asked.
The show, my favorite. I say the same thing every time, but it's always true.
We've got some special guests today. The first one is Maria.
Hey, I am special, and I'm always here because it's my show.
And Colin Brink.
You're special too.
Clearly. Whoop.
There we go.
Today, we're talking about our good friend Hunter Biden. It's a topic that the liberals just won't touch. The liberals won't touch Hunter Biden because they know that the Bidens are corrupt. The Bidens are the Clintons of being centrists. So they're corrupt, and the liberals won't talk about it. Well, we're talking about it, you punks. So stop saying that about me. It hurts my feelings.
You snowflake.
Yeah, there's, it feels like every month there's some different Hunter Biden in the news, and yet every month it feels like the same news but with different words. What the hot hell's going on?
Accurate.
But recently, a little plea deal was reached, and also the most reasonable Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene showed Hunter Biden's penis on the floor of Congress, and so
What a
look,
treat.
man, yeah, what a joy. And so we just thought, it's a good. There's been a lot of time, especially since the laptop controversy. We have a better handle of what the friggin' heck happened there. A better handle, not a complete handle. And we're just gonna talk about it, man. What's going on? Colin's heated. This is still the intro, Barbie. Barbie, we haven't even gotten to life updates, and I don't think that I'm heated yet. Clearly, I've been getting better if this is your benchmark for Colin being heated. And hello to Barbie, Eliza's Ashes.
Who's also Susie. Hi, Susie.
Susie? I don't see Susie.
Eliza is Susie. She says it in here.
Confusing.
Sometimes people have to change their names because other people on other channels suck.
People are crazy. Yeah.
Because people be crazy.
People are crazy, man. I recently started playing like an online video game again, just occasionally. And it's a video game that's known for being kind of toxic. And I had played it before. I got just a little bit back into it and had one game. You're on a team with somebody, had one game where I messed up pretty bad. And the other player's like, I'm not playing the game. And just went like standing completely still in the game. And I was like, okay. So I left that match and was like, that's enough for me. People get so mad during these things. And he found me and sent me a message through PlayStation and was like, just so you know, you're trash at the game. You should give up your controller. And I was like, why? Like, how are you dealing with your parents' divorce, man? Like, this is rough.
Yeah, what are you doing, bro? Unnecessary. Game's over. I've moved on.
Yeah, it's like
that guy has
a 5-minute game. Like 5 minutes total is how long the game can be. So you can really quickly recover from this disappointment. And it's just like it's a rank system, the game. You only play people that are as good as you. So like when you insult me, it's like we're the same rank. I just don't. It's Barbie says those gamers, man, this is a struggle that I have. It's like I enjoy video games, but I don't enjoy them as soon as I have to deal with other people. It's not that I'm disappointed with how good they are at the game. It's that they're so mad. And I get mad in other realms of my life. So I don't want to get mad here.
you know, I've kind of talked to you about something, this kind of stuff before when we talk about like sports, right? To me, sports is like the modern day hunter. You're hunting the buffalo, you're chasing the buffalo around. It's tapping into that same thing. And I wonder if video games are just like an extension of that. So you need to be able to get out your angry aggression. You've beaten the thing, whatever the thing is. In this case, it's a person who's playing a dumb game with you, and you just need to continue to thump your chest because it's just in there still somewhere in your body because you have no buffalo to hunt.
Yeah. And then you've got these little avatars, like this is a game with cars, right? So there's this car without a face, and it's just like driving in the real world too. It's like you can project whatever you're mad at onto that avatar and then yell at it and feel like you're yelling at the thing that you're mad at. So in that moment when I missed the ball in the game, I was his dad, you know. And instead of missing the ball, his dad was missing his recital, you know. It's hard.
Poor guy. Hopefully he felt better after yelling at you for no reason.
Well, I doubt it because I said I think the most devastating thing that you can say in response to like a long message. I just said, "Aren't you embarrassed?" That's all I said. So I like to imagine that he was devastated by that, but maybe not. Who knows?
Trying to imagine.
But also, what's going on in our lives? But also, it's time for an ad.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Today's episode of Nobody Asked is sponsored by crack cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a business dealing with crack cocaine? You know?
Just ask Hunter Biden.
Just ask my good friend Hunter.
He loves crack cocaine.
I do feel that he loved it in the past.
In the
Addiction
past.
is a disease. Addiction is hard. Addiction often is, you know, related to feelings of isolation. But it's also Hunter Biden, so you're a little bit like, yeesh, yeeshity weeshity. But man, that guy had a hard life, that old Hunter Biden. For people that are rich, it's about as bad as it gets. That Hunter Biden.
You know, I mean, most of it of his own making, but
no, I mean not the beginning.
Oh, I guess I don't know the beginning.
Being a child and being in a car accident that kills your mother and your two sisters and suffering a brain fracture.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't think about that part.
Yeah, and then his brother died of brain cancer. His dad had multiple strokes.
But then after his brother died from brain cancer, he started dating his brother's wife.
Trauma.
This is kind of trashy right there.
It's not great. It's not great. How are you getting paid from this sponsor? In crack,
Obviously.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Love me that rock. Yeah. So how's your week, Mom?
It's been good. I have been doing a lot of tedious things. I've been unpacking boxes, washing clothes that were in boxes that got all funky and musty in storage. I had to wash the leather couches. They got moldy. I've never seen a leather couch get moldy until now. So they're clean. The hope is to reupholster.
The leather couches now.
They're listen. We took them out of the trailer, cleaned them, put them back into the trailer because we want to get them reupholstered. So, leather in Mississippi.
To have those in the Mississippi house?
I think so. Yeah, that's the hope. We tried to buy new couches and we didn't like anything. We liked our old couches better. So,
I mean, look, if you want to send one of those old house couches to us, ours is on its last legs because we bought like a Wayfair couch, and it's so comfortable, as evidenced by the fact that whenever we have friends over that live more than 30 minutes away, they basically always sleep at our apartment on that couch. You slept on that couch.
I did.
It's a pretty comfy couch, but
the couch did try to swallow me up, though. It does. You just sort of want to fall into the crack.
For sure. Yeah. So, yeah. In my life, I've been working on this grant for a project near you guys, actually. And man, it feels like it has a really good chance of getting funded, and it'll be so cool to drive by the buildings that are being created through this grant and be like, that's me, baby. I did a little typity type. Now there's buildings here, you know? That's a good feeling. So, yeah, I hope that works out. It's due tomorrow, and I'm working with lobbyists and people that are at the top of their field. And it's been an interesting experience because I'm kind of the project manager, which is not what I want to be. But it's just kind of what I've got to do for this. And communication is hard, and I don't like it. So we'll figure it out. It's all good. It's also 94 outside, which is driving me crazy. I'm having a hard time catching up on steps, but I've been good this week. What's up?
Good job. I was checking the temperature. It's 92 here, so we're slightly cooler.
I'm sure you're more humid. Do you know? Can you see how humid it is where you are?
54%.
All right, let me see what mine is. Oh man, 54%.
Oh, so just as humid. You just got a couple extra degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what you gonna do? Yeah, I don't know. Life is amazing. Everything's great.
Oh, we both watched the Barbie movie this past week.
It was so good.
So good.
Oh, it was way
unexpectedly
better.
Good.
I expected it to be about a black cat, but it turns out it was about a franchise of dolls that are for girls, and I was ready to hate it. I was in the theater actually telling myself, like, you have to give this movie a chance because you don't want to be a curmudgeon that just decides they hate things before they come on. And as soon as I opened my heart to this movie, it gave back. I loved the whole plot. I loved the characters. The bad guys weren't that bad. It was funny at great points. It was depressing. It was like a weird kind of depressing. I will say that I saw it with a group of people, and all of the women that watched it really latched on to one thing that was said in the movie. Can you think about? Can you guess what it was?
A thing that was said in the movie. No.
It was when Ken. I mean, no spoilers, but at some point, Ken calls Barbie his long-term, long-distance, low-effort, super casual girlfriend. I think that was the wording, and it seems like it just stabbed every woman that I know in the heart to hear those words.
Oh no, not me at all. No, that didn't. Yeah, that one didn't hit me at all because I'm like, yeah, exactly, because that's the way Barbie wants it, right?
Okay, interesting. See, I think a lot of the women were like, "Oh, that is so what a toxic man tries to box you into, is this sort of you're nothing type of thing." So it really bugged some people that I watched.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't feel it at all. I think the one thing he said that hit me a certain way that made me giggle was that. Well, actually, he didn't say it. Maybe the narrator said it. I can't remember. But they said that Ken was really into patriarchy, but then he found out it wasn't about horses. It's like, okay.
I just kept liking how he kept saying I did a patriarchy, or I saw it was a patriarchy. I did a patriarchy here. I loved that. I thought that was hilarious. Ken's whole character was
so good.
Yes, free yourself from the chains of this relationship, Ken.
Yeah.
And it was.
She just doesn't love you the way you love her. It's okay.
She love you that way. Yeah. Barbie here says there's so much Barbie stuff sponsored. Pink Coca-Cola. I have not seen Pink Coca-Cola. I would like to try Pink Coca-Cola.
I would too.
Where is that?
But also, to me, I think if I hadn't watched the movie, I would have been like, ugh, I can't deal with all this Barbie stuff. And now I'm like, yes, more Barbie stuff. Give me more Barbie stuff. That's how good that movie was. Everybody showed up in Barbie gear. I was just lucky. I just was accidentally wearing a pink shirt, so yay me. But I didn't feel in there like that.
We didn't, we didn't I didn't have any pink stuff, but we dressed up like Barbie-ish, Barbie adjacent. Ellie wore a dress. I had a very Ken outfit, I feel on. I don't know what you would call the Ken that I was, but um, I don't know, like Street Ken or something. It's like a name of the fashion that I was trying to pull off. But yeah, I had a blast. It was a good time.
So did Ryan feel the Ken character good? He did. I mean, it's not the way that I think of Ken, but it worked very well in this context. The way that Ryan did Ken. There was also several dance numbers, and
Yep.
he also sang like 2 songs in it. So you got a full. It was an experience like no other. So if you haven't seen it, if you're like on the fence, if you're like, there's no way that this is something I want to watch. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, it is.
It was almost as much a Ryan Gosling movie as it was a Margot Robbie movie. It was,
for sure. But not in a negative way. Yeah.
No, in a great way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fight scene, loved the fight scene.
Fight scene was excellent. Hilarious.
I loved, is his name Simu Liu, the other Ken?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was such a just a perfect antagonist, or like fake antagonist to Ken. Yeah, man. I would rewatch that. Maybe I will, because I have a list now. So I watch free movies. Hell yeah. Hunter Biden, guys.
Hunter
what
Biden.
The heck's...
He could be a Ken. He could be Coke Ken. Or
this is not nice what you're doing.
Laptop Ken.
I know that you and your audience are used to this sort of lowbrow, trashy. Oh, but we let's keep it classy, Mom. Here's what it says. Here's what came across our news desk at Nobody Asked earlier this week. The judge put a halt on Hunter Biden's new plea deal, questioning its details. Hunter Biden, wait, the president's son has a plea deal? What is going on?
What is he pleading to exactly?
Well, what is he pleading to? Is he pleading to Coke? That's the only thing I know about. No. A long investigation has been held surrounding Hunter Biden and his dealings, and it found a couple of tax evasion problems. Tax evasion, right?
Yeah, he wasn't paying his taxes, and it wasn't for like a year or two. It was for longer. He would go long stints without paying his taxes. Some of it was money that he made while he was in Ukraine or on these deals with these Chinese investors. But it could have been from anywhere, because he was a real hot mess, possibly because he's a cokehead. But yeah, he wasn't paying his taxes, and he had started to, like, after obviously they said you need to pay us, and he did, but he didn't do it in a timely manner. The fact that he's already paid his taxes now is not enough. There was still a crime committed, and there must be a penalty. And the plea deal, I think it was for like, I didn't really understand the $1.1 million portion of it, if that was what he didn't pay in taxes or if that is a fine. I'm not sure what that part is about, but he was going to get probation, and it was going to also kind of void his weapons charges. And you might go, weapons charges? There were weapons charges? And the answer is, yeah, there were, because apparently one of his ex-girlfriends, possibly his brother's ex-wife, threw away all of his stuff and threw a gun into the dumpster. She threw a gun into the dumpster that Hunter Biden had purchased while he was very, very much in an addictive state. Yep. And when you fill out your form, that in order to get a gun, when you go get your background check, you have to say, am I using any illegal drugs? You have to, and he said, no, I'm not using any illegal drugs, when he very much was using illegal drugs. So that's where the charge comes from, is just the knowledge that he was in fact using guns when his girlfriend threw his gun in the dumpster, which is real weird to throw a gun in the dumpster. So
super strange. And so that's what the Republicans are all mad at Hunter Biden for, right? They're like, Joe Biden, we're mad at you because your son has evaded taxes and there was and dumpster gun. So you're a bad president for that reason. That's what's happening, right?
No, that's not.
No, not quite. There's some other shit. And In fact, it seems like they don't care about those things at all, because those are two very not glamorous things to get mad at the president's son about. Guns and evading taxes, those are the Republicans' favorite things. Hunter Biden sounds awesome to Republicans if that's all he did, right? But no.
I mean, they would have taken those charges as a victory either way, though. But
I'm sure they would have, yes. And the reason that this plea deal was put on hold, if you hear Democrats talk about it, it's because the judge is a Trump-appointed judge, even though it was backed by two Democratic senators. And overall, she seems like probably an okay cat. It does seem like she's aware of the political ramifications of this plea deal. And while that shouldn't affect the outcome of your ruling on a plea deal, I think it certainly has. But it also impacted the plea deal itself. Mm-hmm. Because, for example, one of the elements of taking away his gun charge is that during his 2 years of probation, he could not use drugs or consume alcohol, I believe. And whereas that compliance to that usually would fall to the Department of Justice, part of the plea deal was that they wanted this specific judge in Wilmington, Delaware, to oversee whether or not he was complying to it, because of concerns that if Trump resumes office, he would use the DOJ in order to falsify some sort of result there. So even in the plea deal, politics are being brought in, concerning whether or not Trump gets reelected. In this case, both elements were under some serious scrutiny. That first one I talked about, but also the fact that the plea deal seemed to give immunity from the case reopening pertaining to the investigation. And the problem was, and this is a real problem, this is not politics, this is not the judge being crazy. The problem was, it does not appear as though the prosecution or the defense attorneys agreed on what the investigation was. So to the prosecutors, they seemed to indicate...
Sorry. It's a tiny bug in my face.
They seemed to indicate that they believed that this was just... the case could not be reopened on tax problems and the guns, whereas Hunter Biden and his team believed that this was going to provide him immunity from charges at all related to the investigation, including, collusion and bribery and other elements of the investigation where Republican subcommittees have been trying to show corruption and malfeasance on Hunter Biden's part between China and Ukraine. And so Hunter Biden wanted a more generalized immunity against the entire investigation, whereas these people were like, no, just you won't be tried for this tax or gun stuff again if you comply. So that's a pretty big deal.
Right, because right now the Department of Justice for the last 5 years has been investigating Hunter Biden with regard to, they want to call it illegal lobbying is the kind of part of the way that they want to say it right now. And that was the part where there was not agreement on whether or not these charges, are included in this. Was this illegal lobbying with Ukraine? And there was no, initially they were like, they had the, there was a yes and a no. It does include that. And then no, it doesn't. And then they stepped out and they said, okay, it doesn't include that. We will agree that it doesn't include that, but it didn't matter. The judge didn't like being put in the middle of it. And she's now making them, they've got 30 days to file a brief to basically justify constitutionally why she should be in the middle of this thing and keep the Department of Justice out of it. Because she's like, I don't think I can do that. So, and that's for both of them. Both of you prove why this is legit, because
absolutely. It seems like all these dealings happened outside of the judge. It's quite strange. And if I might be I'm certainly getting out of my depth of experience here, but if I had to guess based on a incredibly in-depth viewing of the television show Suits, what I think is happening with that first one is that both the prosecutors and the defense were okay with the vagueness of the terms of immunity, because they were both like, I think that I can win in court if this comes up again. They both, or that possibly that they wouldn't be involved in that. Like whatever prosecutor wouldn't have to substantiate their claim, and it could all get worked out in court after. And they were okay with the vagueness as like providing both of them some amount of get out of it.
Yeah.
Intentional vagueness, something
Yes.
I'm quite familiar with in my work as a grant writer. So that all happens, but what laptop, friggin' Ukraine, China, it doesn't seem to be related to any of this. What's going on with that, Ma?
What's going on with that? Okay, so apparently, I believe it was in April of, I'm going to switch my page. I took way more notes than one would expect on this. April of 2019. April of 2019.
Whoa, back in 2019.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's not even, I mean, it's a little while ago, but back in April of 2019. We're doing
laptop right now then.
I thought you asked about the laptop.
Well, I asked about Ukraine, China lap. Can I do Ukraine and China first?
Oh, I mean, I think it all goes together, but sure.
It all goes together.
Yeah, you want to do Ukraine, China? What do you want to do?
Well, here's what's not contested, is that Hunter Biden has a number of different business dealings as a private citizen that is related to his father, and certainly, almost without a doubt, his connection to his father is part of the reason that certain powerful people would like to latch on to Hunter. This idea that I'm not definitely paying for a connection to the second highest state of the U.S. government, but it wouldn't hurt to know a guy that knows a guy, So he's had dealings with China, with two people that have both since disappeared in different ways. In China, he was helping with investments in an energy company in Louisiana. So there was an oil company. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was a liquid natural gas company. So.
Oh, okay. So that's a kind of. Yeah, it was like Monkey Island. They wanted to drill or whatever on Monkey Island. Yeah. In Louisiana.
One of them was with like an energy oligarch in China, who owned an energy corporation that certain Department of Justice and government officials have said it's difficult to tell whether or not this is a Chinese corporation or actually like a part of the People's Republic of China. The line is very blurred over there, and this is the leader of that energy company that was seeking investment advice from Biden on energy dealings in America. Advice which Biden did give, it's not a Brett Favre didn't give the talk situation, but he was certainly getting quite a significant commission on this investment advice, possibly because this person that's super highly connected in China would love to be connected to somebody that's connected to Biden. I think it would be hard to argue that didn't come into people's minds when dealing with Biden, even with dealing with Hunter Biden, even though Hunter Biden does have an academic record that would get him significant positions and whatnot. He went to Yale Law, all sorts of stuff. It seems to come up in dealings. He also dealt with another person in China giving in a similar capacity, who then was, if I recall correctly, let me actually bring up my notes now. Not Ye Jingming. Sorry.
There was somebody named Ye for sure.
Yeah. Ye is the Ye is the energy person. And in October 12th, 2018, Chinese prosecutors accused him of bribing a top Communist Party official, and that official pleaded guilty, and Ye vanished. And so Ye isn't out there anymore. And Ye, the researchers at the University of Hong Kong have concluded that Ye is one of the most censored topics of 2018 in China. So China has tried to erase the existence of Ye. Or is it Yeah? I think it's Yeah. It's spelled Y-E, and so I keep pronouncing it Ye like Kanye.
Yeah.
I think it's Yeah. I think that I'm reading a book that's written by a Chinese author, and there's a character named Yeah in it, and Ya Wenji. My mom listened to the book too. So yeah. But Ho is the person that is the other individual. And I'm trying to. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, there was two people related to this deal.
Provide legal advice to another CFC. Recruited Hunter Biden to provide legal advice to another official at that energy company, Patrick Ho. And Biden signed an engagement letter in September 18th, 2017, agreeing to a $1 million retainer. So these dollar numbers are significant, but I would say not unheard of in this space. These are not insane numbers to be paying a consultant. These people are rich.
And they're trying to do big things. This wasn't like a small project. This was a major undertaking that they were attempting to do in Louisiana to, I don't know if it was oil or natural gas, whatever it was, they needed to drill for it. And it just got to a point where they just couldn't make it make sense. They couldn't make it, I don't know if it was financially make sense, but either way, it didn't end up working out.
Well, there was also that both of them disappeared. Both of the Chinese officials disappeared. So Patrick Ho also was arrested by the FBI for bribing officials in Chad and Uganda.
I thought that was weird because he served, I think he went to jail here for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, he served a 3-year prison sentence. And
for,
then the Louisiana
bribing people in Chad. How is that a crime in America for a Chinese person to bribe someone in Chad? Shouldn't China be taking care of that? Why is that our business? I just think that's a real weird. So he had to serve time and then he got deported after the fact.
Yeah. Yep. Quite strange. But those are two people in China that he had business dealings with. They seem cool. And then what the Republicans will talk about more is this Ukrainian energy company. So this Ukrainian incident is related to why Trump was impeached in one instance. So Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company helmed by Mykola Zlochevsky, who previously served in the government of Ukraine's Russia-friendly former president, Viktor Yanukovych. These names. So Biden's helping with, somebody from a pro-Russia element of a Ukrainian energy element. And it was brought up pretty quickly. Joe Biden was helping lead the Obama administration's Ukraine policy, and U.S. officials raised concerns internally about the business relationship. While Hunter was on Burisma's board, his father, along with a host of European allies, pushed the Ukrainian government to oust prosecutor Viktor Shokin. Shokin's office had been investigating Burisma, and Joe Biden indicated that Ukraine wouldn't receive... What?
Allegedly.
I don't think... Is that alleged?
It is alleged, because if you ask Viktor Shokin, he that wasn't happening. He was not investigating Burisma.
Well, Joe Biden indicated that Ukraine wouldn't receive a financial aid package until Shokin was out, and the Ukrainian government did fire Shokin because they relied heavily on Western aid. Importantly, it was not just Biden that was like, get Shokin out of here. Multiple European allies. There were a number of reasons to oust Shokin, but it certainly didn't look good that it would positively impact the business dealings of a company that Hunter Biden was involved in.
That's the narrative. Yes. Although Shokin was, he was considered a corrupt prosecutor. He would go against. He would try to find crimes against people that benefited him in some way or benefited whoever was paying him. So he'd go after political enemies, things like that. But he's not going to tell you that he went after Burisma. He's been asked many, many times. He's been coddled by Guiliani. Please say this. Please say it. No, he won't say it. He won't say it. It's fascinating that he won't.
So this firing ends up being the subject upon which Trump wants to solicit some sort of October surprise against Biden. So Donald Trump and his allies homed in on Hunter Biden's Ukraine dealings. I think Trump wanted Ukrainian authorities to investigate the Biden family and the firing of Shokin, and he wanted the world to know about it. So on a July 25th phone call, Trump pushed Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, heard of him, to look into the Bidens. The call came as the Trump administration had paused the delivery of military aid to Ukraine. Gordon Sondland, Trump's ambassador to the European Union, testified to Congress that he believed that Trump sought a quid pro quo. If Zelensky wanted U.S. military aid in a White House meeting with Trump, then he would need to announce a Biden investigation. So this ends up being what gets Trump impeached in the House, is this call with Vladimir Zelensky. Man, Ukraine, even before the war, they were up in this shit, you know? They were involved.
They were. I mean, but you can't forget that Trump had a pretty good relationship with old Putin. And so, you know, the fact that Ukraine's in the middle of things might actually make a lot of sense, you know, in the big picture. Yep. You know, there's a lot of people that want to say everything around this laptop is, you know, it's Russian interference. And there's some evidence to support that there's some Russian interference involved in this, but not exclusively. It's a lot more American. We can do it all on our own. We can interfere in our own shit without any difficulties.
Really crazy. So,
have you heard of this?
It's an overview of the dealings. Sorry.
It is an overview. It is an overview. Have you heard of this guy, Levparnas?
No, but it's a fun name.
Okay, Levparnas. You guys need to look him up because he has recently gotten out of prison. He was convicted of what exactly was it? Something weird. Oh, convicted of illegal campaign contributions to Trump that were from foreign entities. So he somehow was caught up in the middle of that. But anyway, this guy, he will tell you that he was in Trump's inner circle and he was part of the MAGA cult. That's the way he says it. Those are his words. And he was kind of hired by Giuliani to do all of the kind of the face-to-face stuff in Ukraine to get all of this stuff moving, all of these connections to verify all of the stuff that they've been saying about Biden, right? Get dirt on Joe Biden. That was what this guy, Lev Parnas, was hired to do. And ahead of the 2020 election. But he could never find any actual evidence, right? So he's the one that went and found Shokin and tried to get Shokin to come to the States and say all of this stuff, right? He said, now you can't come, you're not going to, don't put on your visa that you're going to come and do this stuff. Say, you're going to go visit your daughter in California, make it a nice vacation kind of scenario. But the State Department is like, they saw it and they're like, no, you're not getting a visa. So he couldn't get a visa. But I think they ended up doing like a Zoom call. And on that Zoom call, again, you couldn't get Shokin to say that he was in fact investigating Burisma. He did not care about the Bidens at all. All he cared about was getting back into power. He thought he did not care about a lick of this, but he was willing to, let's meet with Giuliani. I think he did meet with Giuliani at some point, but maybe that was in Ukraine that he met with Giuliani. You know, meet with Trump, whatever he needs to do to interact with powerful people that will help him get back in power. That's all he cared about. But he wasn't going to lie, apparently, about and say that he was going after, you know, the founder of Burisma. He wasn't going to say it.
It's weird.
It is weird, but they couldn't prove it. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing, is that they were never able to solidify all of the stuff that they've been trying to solidify around the laptop. But is the laptop real? Yeah. Is this? It is real. It is real. So in 2019, it was April.
Did I ruin the reveal?
No, you didn't. I want you to say yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it was April 2019. Hunter Biden brings his laptop to a computer repair guy, and he's like, I have some water damage. Can you recover these files for me? He leaves it there, and then he never comes and picks it up for some reason. 8 months later, this guy says, hey, man, I didn't have any good contact information for him. He never paid for it. He didn't pay for me to do this. So now it's mine. This is my laptop now, as is all of the information on it. And as I was moving all of these files over, you know, that he wanted me to get for him, I, of course, looked at them and I saw some very big red flags that I was very concerned about, some national security stuff, some criminal activity. And I needed to give this information to somebody because this was just too important. And so, did he give it to the FBI? Maybe.
He gave it to the best person you could give it to. The Superman of rooting out corruption and crime, our friend, our hero, Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani, because that's who I would give
Rudy
everything
Jules.
to. Yeah, he gives it to Rudy Giuliani. Now, there is questions for me when I start looking at the timeline because in December, the laptop was seized by the FBI. Who was it seized from? Was it seized from Giuliani or was it seized from this guy, this computer guy? The computer guy will show you a subpoena saying, look, they seized it. So they might have the real laptop. The FBI might have the real laptop. But now, again, this computer dude, I think he was just making copies all day long. Let me just reprint this, this hard drive. I made a cajillion of them. Here's mine to Giuliani. I'm going to go give this one over here to NBC News. This one over here to the Washington Post. He was giving it everywhere. And so was Giuliani. Giuliani, he was careful about who he was shopping it around to because he didn't want anybody to look too hard at it and try to disprove everything on there and prove that this stuff, some of this is real, some of this stuff is fake. He didn't want that. So he brings it to the New York Post. And the New York Post. Institution. Yes. The New York Post starts.
So close to it. I live so close. I accidentally walked onto their campus. It is not in Midtown Manhattan. It's in the Bronx. There's like a park there's an island in between the Bronx and Eastern Manhattan called Randall's Island. It's got a bunch of baseball fields and football fields. It's like an activity plex that you can access from both the islands. And I was just one wheeling around it. And I was like, ooh, a bridge into the Bronx. And the bridge just connects into the New York Post's campus. Weird. Why is it not in Midtown?
I don't know.
I just found myself on. I was like, oh,
they're a little bit of a questionable news organization. So
my gosh, it's like a homeless man yelling the news at you, is what John Mulaney said. Hey, you hear Biden is not good.
So they actually print a couple of the emails that are Hunter Biden's emails. I think that they were real. I think so. Some of them, at least, that they printed were real, that they were able to verify, like the Washington Post were able to verify. Those ones do match up with ones that we think are real ones that we have on our hard drive as well, that we got directly from we didn't get from Giuliani. Okay. So they print some of them. They make a lot of, I don't know, like, okay, this is the way that they wrote the headlines kind of thing. It's like, Elder Biden pressured government officials in Ukraine into firing prosecutor Shokin, who was investigating Burisma founder. Hunter introduced father to Burisma founder. So that's the other thing, is they're trying to convince you that Hunter Biden introduced President Biden to these guys in Burisma, because we know that's why they want Hunter there, right?
But also we're talking about then ex-Vice President Joe Biden, right?
At that point, I think he was still vice president at that point.
Okay.
And he was trying to do a lot of stuff with Ukraine. He was trying to reform Ukraine. Let's switch out some leadership. Let's do some of these big things. And so, yeah, he was very involved. And so, they say that they met each other, and you can prove it with these emails. You can't exactly prove it with the emails. You can prove that they maybe, that they were maybe invited to the same dinner, that one of Hunter Biden's other businesses, I don't know if it was a food bank, I can't remember which one it was, but he has some other dealings that he does, that they were having a dinner for, and the founder of Burisma may have been there, maybe, and that Joe Biden showed up very, very briefly to that event, to that dinner, to say hi to an old friend who was not this person. He was there for minutes. Said hello, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. Let's go play some.
Yeah.
some tennis later. I don't know, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything. But you but Biden did show up to that. So I mean, is that proof that of the moving and shaking? That the reason that they want Hunter Biden anywhere is to get these other people close to Joe Biden, right? Because how did I write it? I wrote compromising a person with access and influence. That would be the goal of possibly China when they were interacting with him, and these guys in Ukraine as well. I don't know why. I don't know why an energy company guy, him being near that, is considered this terrible thing. But whatever, whatever. It's weird. But again, they can't prove anything, which is the problem. They can't.
I mean, and it's just so small in comparison to things that Trump did that we didn't even notice. Like that. I mean, plain the people that he would force to get, like he didn't give up his businesses when he was in office, and then he would incentivize people to purchase rooms and stays at his various hotels and resorts and golf courses for incredible fees as like a way of getting them to meet with him. Like, you can get time with me if you stay at Trump Hotel, if you stay at Mar-a-Lago, and those things are ones where Republicans are like, well, I mean, look, he's a businessman. It's Trump, But then Biden possibly shakes the hand of somebody shady in a quick meeting, and his son is doing something slightly shady.
And you can't even prove that he shook his hand. That's the other part.
You even prove it, right? And this is a big deal. But like every one of Trump's kids is a douchebag that's doing stuff like this, and Trump himself. It's just the hypocrisy is nuts. The hypocrisy is nuts.
Yeah.
I think Hunter Biden should be prosecuted for tax evasion in the same way anyone might get prosecuted for tax evasion, which is rarely and at random. But
it is that, yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think that the thing that Biden really did wrong was actually not filing his taxes. If he just did it badly, he probably would not be getting prosecuted for it, except for the fact that his dad, is who his dad is. So you got to keep things knit up tight if, the entire Republican Party is going to try and find shit on you. So
the Chinese one, so that's where we get some of the emails that were released around the deal, that Chinese deal, are a little bit more interesting, right? So at this point, Joe Biden is no longer president when we're talking about the Chinese deal. But in the way that the New York Post reported it, they said in the deals with Chinese investors claiming H, so that's the way the emails were written, H would hold 10 shares for the big guy, right? So they're saying H is Hunter and the big guy is Joe Biden. So basically we're saying, hey, we're going to hold some shares so Joe Biden is now allegedly also involved in this Chinese deal that didn't even happen, right? They never finished the deal. It all fell apart. Yeah. But at that point also, Joe Biden's a private citizen. And that was part of the thing, is that they just wanted to say that Joe Biden that's when they talk about Joe Biden's taking money from the Chinese. This is what they're talking about. This deal that didn't happen, and this weird language in an email that was found on the server that Giuliani had in his possession, right?
It is just like, it's so many stretches on top of so many stretches. And like the point that Joe Biden was a private citizen at that point, it's like what they're complaining about can bring up what I think are good conversations, which is like, should an ex-president be treated completely as a private citizen after their presidency, knowing the kind of power they now control as a result of their time in the presidency, right? Should we legislate that and create some sort of system for like, look, you're no longer ever going to be a private citizen in terms of business dealings, but we're going to make sure ex-presidents live well until they're dead, right? No one has like Ulysses S. Grant syndrome, right? Is that something we need to legislate? That's an interesting conversation. But in the case that the law is what the law is, it's like we can't shit on Biden for doing what every president does after. We've got to just change the legislation like we should for all congressmen, right? Yeah, it's a breeding ground for corruption that the second that somebody leaves office, they are treated as a private citizen and they all become lobbyists because of their incredible number of connections. Yeah, that's going to create corruption. But we've got to legislate for that. We can't just arbitrarily pick people we don't like and then say that stuff's bad. I also have to respond to a comment. Thank you, Mom.
What you said worked perfectly with this.
Exactly. Valiant Thor says, I'm a Democrat. Why do we always have to say, but Donald Trump, quote? I didn't say the first quote. You know where it was. ... I don't feel like we should let them know Trump lives rent-free in our minds. Just saying. Okay.
So yeah, I think you compared.
Wait.
Okay. Go ahead.
One, that was basically the reason that we started the podcast we started, is that we had certain topics that we felt like people went to too often, and we made them off limits. And one of the first ones was Donald Trump, where if you brought up Donald Trump, you had to put spoons over your eyes, over one of your eyes, and call yourself a spoon pirate. So
I don't have any spoons, but
kind of agree, you know?
Yarg!
Yarg! Right? But here's why I think that we can bring it up. Also, saying that Trump lives rent-free in our minds makes me question whether or not you are a Democrat. Trump doesn't live rent-free in my mind. Trump is fucking annoying. Trump is a metric of comparison for hypocrisy. When the same members of the Republican Party are okay with one of their own, somebody that they treat like a god in some cases, doing actions that are far outweighing the actions that they disavow in their opponents, like Joe Biden. It's a great metric for hypocrisy. Oh, you were okay with it over here with this person that you elected to the highest office, right? But now with Joe Biden, it's a big problem. So we need to be able to use him as a metric of comparison. Does that mean I'm giving Donald Trump power? No, you fucking dork. No. That when they elected Trump,
he means that in the nicest way possible.
I mean it in the nicest way possible, Valiant Thor. I would never want to draw the ire of your hammer. It is the stuff of legend, but of literal legend. This is my complaint about that, is just that Donald Trump's election, and especially certain Republican candidates continuing to advocate for Trump, those people, right? Also being the people that disavow what Biden may have done are showing a certain amount of hypocrisy. So that's why we need to do it. Yeah.
Valiant Thor, I feel like you've maybe not watched the show before, because we are definitely not a government for the government by the government kind of people. Man, we feel the pain a lot. And we are all about accountability. As we said earlier in this very one, that we believe that Hunter Biden should, in fact, be prosecuted for actual crimes that he did, not for whatever this weirdness is, right? He definitely evaded taxes. He also probably should have been buying a gun while under the influence of anything.
I don't understand how somebody that is complaining about government corruption is also complaining about pointing out the corruption of Donald Trump. It's weird. But
agreed. He's exceptionally corrupt. I do want to find out. I know that you found out for me where he went to school, like high school, middle school, whatever it was, before college. And that I really think that there is just something real weird about his entire, I don't want to say moral compass.
Barbie says, damn, we tried to write a bill. What an era. Should bring that back up. We got as far as we the people.
We got a little bit further than that.
Yeah.
So what was I saying? Oh, if you find out, like, what is the code with which Donald Trump operates? And for me, just watching, because I definitely watched almost every single season of that show. What was it that he had? The Apprentice. The Apprentice. I watched almost every episode of The Apprentice, and you could start to see what the code with which he operated, and it was very different than what I operated for. So when people were so into voting for him the very first time, I was like, I know you guys watched the show, right? How do you think does his morals really line up with yours? Because on that show, admitting anything, taking responsibility for your team on that show and saying, oh, the blame, I was the leader, the blame falls to me, you're fired. Never. Yeah. So what I learned on there was never take accountability. That's what I learned. He doesn't believe in taking accountability. You know, if you can spin this so that it's somebody else's fault, always do that, because that was what he responded to. And so I'm like, how do you guys not see that? So that's why I want to know. I want to investigate where he went to school, because there was a lot of schools, you know, we call them military schools, but you know, you would send your kid away, particularly if you had money and you didn't really want to have to deal with your child. You'd send them to these military schools that would teach you these very weird code of ethics, where you would pit the students against each other, right? And you definitely would never take accountability. You would destroy everybody's weakness. You would point it out, and we see Donald Trump do that a lot too, right? If he sees something he can point out and exploit, he will. He used to like to, you know, talk about how fat Rosie O'Donnell was, right? He would just pick the dumbest things, and he likes to call people
his wife. Ted Cruz, you've got a fat wife.
Yeah,
your wife is so fat.
Right, and what kind of who does it? It's not something that you expect from adults on a public stage to do that kind of stuff, but he does. And to me, it's got to go all the way back to childhood for me, where this was how you got ahead in these types of environments. But that's me. Okay.
Yeah. Valiant Thor says, with the craziness of our current congressional hearings, only thing left is for the extraterrestrials to reveal
100%.
themselves. Then every single piece of toilet paper on the planet will be gone. That's hilarious. I can't believe we didn't end up talking about that. It was just like, it was such a maelstrom of like weird information, and I couldn't dissect it, but I did think, that might be a topic for another day. You know, we did the balloons that one time and related ET stuff, but it is interesting, everything that's going on there. It is also interesting while I'm reading Death's End, the third book in the 3-body problem, because aliens are very real in that book, and then every news title I'm like, there's that huge gravitational wave that was found, likely from a supernova by MIT, and it was right at a part of the book where we're communicating with extraterrestrials through gravitational waves and using them as like this mutual destruction solution. And that news article came up while I was listening to it. I was like, don't like it.
Wait a minute. You went to school with somebody, or you worked with a guy who went to school with Donnie. Oh, I'd like to ask you some questions about that if you have any answers. I mean, maybe that's the extent of what you know, but
yeah, I'd like to meet that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He said he was an ass and got shipped off. Yeah, this is what I would have expected. I don't know, man.
That's Hunter Biden.
That
seems like a sad situation. It does seem like he's probably corrupt. It seems like he's probably not a great person.
I don't know if I would say that. I would say he's made a lot of incredibly bad decisions that he is at a point in his life where he's owning up to them, and he's feeling the repercussions. You know, because he'll tell you when it came to the tax situation and how much he wasn't paying in taxes and how much money he was actually making. He had a lot of money coming in at that point, but he couldn't pay his mortgage. He couldn't pay child support. And you're talking, he had like hundreds of thousands of dollars that he was blowing through in a month because of his massive drug problem. He was staying at these very expensive hotels until they would no longer let him stay, and partying at these hotels, doing drugs at these hotels. He was living with his drug dealer during this time period. He learned how to make his own crack. He made his own crack, which is why I liked to, our sponsor was crack. I mean, that's the level of commitment he had to his addiction. It's that he was making crack. So
that is depressing, man.
But he'll tell you all of it. He's owning every bit of it. Yeah, I was a hot mess. Yes, prostitutes, 100%. Yes, every bad thing, I was probably doing it. I let my whole family fall apart because of this, not, because of my addiction. I went to rehab so many times. I had somebody drop me off at rehab. As soon as they drove away, I got in an Uber, went to California, went on another drug binge. You know what I mean? So he was not being he wasn't at the steering wheel of his own life at that point. Hopefully
Yeah.
he is now, and maybe that's part of why he's taking a plea instead of fighting any of this. um I don't know, it's just an acknowledgement of, yeah, man, I 100% did mess some stuff up. Is it illegal lobbying? I don't think so, not that I've seen so far.
I find it so depressing when life gets to that point, man. Like,
Sorry, that comment.
it's so depressing when a life gets to that point, and it's like, you know, that guilt that you feel after a large purchase, even if it's a purchase that makes sense, that you've reasoned through. There's just this I think about the most recent one was like a year ago. I bought a PS5, and I felt guilty for like 2 weeks for spending $500 on a PS5, you know, and and then when somebody is blowing through money like that, especially with like drug addictions and gambling addiction, when they have other responsibilities, it is just so depressing. And it's crazy to me that people can tolerate profiting off of people that are dealing with that. Uh, it's one of the reasons I find it insane that state sanctioned gambling is allowed. Uh, it's, I don't know, man. Dude.
You find gambling in general to be very depressing. So
Yeah, I find, well, I especially find slot machines to be depressing. But truly, the depths of gambling addiction make me that, like, it makes me just really sad. Which is one of the reasons that living in the area you live in, I'm like, because I feel like I can feel it. I can feel the opioid addiction in people around me, and I can feel the gambling addiction. Now, you feel it less right where you guys are, but
no, I know
there's
what you're
certainly
talking
a
about.
populace in Biloxi that are beholden to the slots in that area, in the same way that Las Vegas has a little bit of like a neighborhood, you know.
Las Vegas did for sure did. We stayed in Vegas for several weeks while your dad had a conference, and I've never seen, except in Vegas, and I'd never seen it before. These little tents set up on the corners of streets where you could get your free Obama phone. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing, but it's very much alive and well in Vegas. And there's a huge homeless population there, and yeah, it's depressing for sure. Plus, there's no real grass there, so that depresses me as well. But
Yeah. uh, I don't know, man. I just this problem. I mean, like, I've gotten completely on a tangent, but the problem of addiction and all this stuff is gonna get worse. I, you know, COVID, I think, definitely set a fuse on a lot of people, and right now and in the next couple of years, we're going to see that come to a head. With a lot of opioid-based deaths and various addictions. It's like we have really got to invest money in getting people out of isolation and into a better scenario. And I think that the infrastructure of society dictates that what we can't do for some reason is attack the people that enable this behavior when people become isolated and become vulnerable. But I want to attack the entities that profit from gambling, the people that lobby for sports betting and advocate for sports betting as skill based. I want to attack the opioid lobbies. I think that to some extent that's been done, but the numbers are just ones that placate the masses. They're not actually numbers that affect the businesses. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I mean, I think we are pack animals, right? We are meant to have community, and I think it would probably be good for all of us to examine what is it that binds you to people? What is your community, right? Because sometimes you are unfortunately finding community in drugs, and that's not the community that you want. But it's so hard to find community in positive things these days. It feels like negativity binds people together so much more easily. Having something to hate binds people, you know? It's just weird, man.
Yeah, and it really frustrates me how much. I mean, I don't know if it's more common. It's just how common it is to hate people that love things or to make fun of being passionate about things. It's like we got cool about nerds for a second, right?
Yeah.
We were like, no, being a nerd is dope. Loving comic books and loving board games and
Yeah, it's
video
wholesome,
games and
right?
stuff.
It used to be
Yeah, yeah.
wholesome.
But then in another realm, it's like I think that we've changed. It's like we make fun of passion projects, right? We make fun of people that put themselves out there artistically, and we make fun of like what even in the Barbie movie. Hello to all. P.S. Looks like Colin is in a tiny home loft. Love it.
He is under the loft, so he kind of is.
Behind this is a toilet. It's not true.
No.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I even think about this is such a small thing, but I think it's emblematic. Is part of the Barbie movie is them making fun of people that are passionate about movies, because all of the Kens for a moment, like they trick all the Kens by asking them about The Godfather, you know, but then it was this like satirical bastardization of people that really care about cinematography, and it's like I don't know, just let people like movies, just let people like their dumb stuff. I don't know, hating passion is so annoying.
Well, it was more that it was a way to manipulate them, is to show interest in what they like.
Yeah, but I also think they were trying to make them look like idiots, for their feelings in the
I
Godfather.
think that they were just seizing on tropes. That was what it was. It was tropes of these are classic things that men really enjoy and want to talk about. Let me,
Fair enough. But yeah, well, yeah. All right. All of the eye rolling when they were singing "Push" by Matchbox 20, and I'm
I
like,
started
he
singing
learned
too.
the song. It's a great song.
It is a good song.
He
Also,
learned it.
I was singing along. I was like, that's a great song. I love Matchbox 20.
There's the moment where they turn the radio and it's like, oh, we're only playing Ken's favorite song, and I was like, what is this going to be? How are they going to make fun of men for what their favorite song is? And then they played "Push" by Matchbox 20, and I was like, oh shit, they're right. I'm Ken, and I love this song. This song bangs.
It was awesome. That was a good movie.
Let's play GeoGuessr.
Sure, let's play GeoGuessr. We've covered this enough. I mean, there was a little bit more, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what it was, real quick.
Okay, yeah.
So, while you're loading it, yeah. So, there's obviously concerns about the legitimacy of parts of this laptop, particularly the parts that Giuliani had, and part of it is because there's indications that Hunter Biden's iCloud account has been hacked into. His passwords have all been changed when he had no access to it. Some of this stuff was happening after it was allegedly given to the FBI. Some of it was after Giuliani had it. And so that's why some of it looks like it might not be real. But they did the classic thing of where you stack, real stuff, and then you stack some bologna in the middle of it, and then the rest of the sandwich, right? The rest of the sandwich. So you put some truth on the outside and some bologna in the middle, and then it's hard to know what's real and what's not real. And so that's part of the challenge, is figuring out what on the laptop was real and what isn't. And so that's why this investigation is going to take forever, it feels like, or it's never going to amount to anything, because there was a terrible chain of custody with regard to this. It was terrible. Awful.
I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, Ellie's communicating to me with hands. What? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Ellie wants me to switch the audio input and output device so she can hear the podcast while she's in here.
Oh, okay, because she doesn't want to put on a headphone and be 10 seconds delayed and then hear you still talking at 10 seconds ahead.
Yep.
That would be weird.
Am I echoing
sound
right
good.
now?
Nope, you
That's
sound
good.
good.
All right, good. Put these in here. Let's play a little daily challenge. You feel
Let's
me?
do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Ashley, you're so late. We're now at the geo. Shoot, I can't even say it. GeoGuessr portion of the show. But
GeoGuessr time. All right, everyone, get ready, comment where you think we are. You're always wrong. I'm always better than you, but it's fun to see.
What did I watch the other day? And I'm like, if I see this again, I'm going to guess this country. I think it was Romania. Was it Romania? Shoot, I already lost it. It was like all rocks. Everywhere was rocks.
Oh, now this, my friends, is at
I think I saw a banana tree or a palm tree over there.
I mean, it feels like Central America, maybe. Oh, actually, well, that feels like a little.
Those are stacks of terracotta tiles.
That's an EU plate.
Okay. Yep, it's a long, skinny plate. Let's see.
Sun's in the east, which is useless.
I mean, I feel like we're probably in a Mediterranean country.
Yeah. So Greece, you'll always find their stupid ass alphabet somewhere. But this is like, I mean, could this be Sardinia, you know? Rua da first oitava.
Wait, get closer. I can't see that.
It says Rua da first oitava. I can't get any closer.
Rua with an A at the end, not just Ru.
Yeah, Rua.
I mean, we could guess Spain, Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah, let's see if we can find. I mean, first of all, I would love to live here. Doesn't this look beautiful? I mean,
it does.
This is incredible.
Via Avenida. I'm trying to think of.
The cars are not rich people cars, but the house. I mean, these have got to be expensive houses. Come on.
I mean, not necessarily.
Some people just live like this, and it's
because you just keep going, right? You just keep living. Paragam. Oh, I can't tell what that symbol is up there.
It's like there's an R with like a little S and an A kind of thing.
I don't know, man. Do we want to say Portugal?
Ooh, look down there.
Ooh, lovely.
God, it's gorgeous.
Oh, look at the terraces over there. The terraced land. Oh, Palma.
It couldn't be Gibraltar, is it?
I don't know. I've not been there. I think your dad's been there. Oh, how about
what?
What'd you pick?
Porto.
Okay, let's go with it. Unless you can find a country that starts with an R.
Oh,
ooh, we're in the water. What's this? What is this?
Oh, Madeira.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I kind of want to visit now. Ellie, found a honeymoon spot. Okay, immediately Ukraine, but let's
Poland.
See. Poland. You know, one of those.
Oh, you got red and blue fencing there. Oh, garbage cans.
That looks like Ukraine or Russia. Oh, there's a swastika.
Oh, wait, there was a backwards R. I saw backwards R in the spray paint.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay, backwards R, I thought meant Moldova. Let's see. We'll usually be able to find. That doesn't look.
I mean, I think we're in a city, so, and I wouldn't necessarily guess coastal.
No, I wouldn't either. Yeah, I was more looking for.
Right there. R's. There's letters there. There's no backwards R. We got backwards. I don't know. Weird letters though.
Oh, there's a backwards R.
Oh, there is.
Samkaivka. So Ukraine? Okay, let's just do like right here. Bulgaria.
Unbelievable.
All right. All right. Ooh. Interesting.
Ashley says she enjoyed that you were wrong, Colin.
Yeah, I get that. I get it. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at that foggy.
Ooh, yes.
Gorgeous.
Nice shades of green.
It's in the set. We're in the northern hemisphere. I mean, it both feels European, but like the architecture style is very new, you know? I feel like you're going to want to say Belgium.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that, but it could be. Let's see. Well, that feels like it could be German.
German, Netherlands. It's
Netherlands.
Super. Look at this, like brutalism.
That is very industrial looking. Let's see.
Where are the windmills? See that? Wow, it does look German. But Germany is really rare to come up on here.
Oh, what's on this sign? Let's see.
It's like
I can't read that.
Hi, Moby. What are you doing, buddy? Stealing things?
It's nice and green.
This could be like Denmark.
It could be. Oh, let's ask that guy.
Hello.
Where are you?
Oh, well, are those pumas? It's Denmark. Come on.
Do Danish people wear pumas?
Oh, come on. Of course they do.
He's not tall enough to be Danish.
Switzerland.
There you go, Switzerland. You never went to Switzerland.
I'm doing so bad.
Oh, a bunch of people here, just chilling.
All right.
While the Google vehicle drives by, just
people all.
Wait, look at that's what I was going to say. They look Hispanic.
This person's real stretched out. I think they may have died.
They were moving.
It's like an elementary school.
Oh, that's adorable.
It is kind of cute. It's also like beautiful. The whole thing is very nice. Let's see
what's this sign.
Biblioteca Virgil Barco.
Arca este todos. Cuidelo, Lago Ceremonial. Biblioteca. I mean, obviously a Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah.
But it didn't tell me which one. What does that one say? It's just more about the park.
Yeah, more parkiness. What is this place? This place is great. I mean, get out of here. There's a little retention pond, but
I think you just went back in. Okay, let's see.
Let me out.
I don't know. Oh, you see that yellow? What's that yellow thing on that light?
Exito.
Is it really? Peru. I don't know. There's mountains. I'm going to say Peru.
I don't know. Does it look like they're all eating really bland food?
Hey, why we don't have to hate on Peru? I mean, if it was Puerto Rican food, it would be tasting like olives. Everything tastes like olives.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I like Puerto Rican food that much. All right,
some of it's good. It's too many olives.
Too many olives. Colombia.
I mean, we were only one country off.
But so many miles.
So many miles. They're real big countries.
We're in a canoe.
We're in a canoe?
Yeah, look at this. We're in a up canoe. This is cool.
Little bamboo stick. All right. Well, are we on some major waterway in Africa?
Like yeah. Is this like the Congo?
I don't know. The person in the boat is white. Oh, but the person with the stick is a black guy. So that tells me just about nothing.
Yeah, I think that this person is probably with the person with the camera.
But look at the boat though. It's got a little side. Look at it's got a. You see that?
Yeah.
whatever that is, a little
This is
pontoon
the
thingy.
coolest thing ever. How the hell is this on Street View? I mean, I think one problem, we're definitely not going to find any text. So like, this is basically what we got.
Okay.
Um,
It's very lush.
it's
Somewhere where there'd be a rainforest part of Africa.
The sun is in
Low
the
in the
north.
sky.
So we're like, I mean, I am tempted to go in the Congo. I don't know if there's any coverage in the Congo, but
Well, you got to be on a waterway here to make this work.
yeah, like the Congo.
Sure. I mean, that's a bunch of weird water there. Let's see. So
Weird water.
and let's somewhere where it's real lush and extra green.
I mean,
I suppose this is all green.
let's go by this city.
We were in.
Whoa, Madagascar.
Well, we weren't going to get that. Not unless a random lemur showed up.
All right, that was a rough one. I think that was.
We did so bad.
Yeah, we did. Let's play one game of multiplayer countries, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
You still have your Christmas gear on.
Yeah, I do. I'm a rule breaker.
Oh, I like his mushroom hat. That's fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm probably way too highly ranked because I still have the same rank that I had when I played this a lot. I've lost all my skill.
For sure. Because you used to like even just look at the street lights and you'd be like, this is this country. Ow.
Yeah, there's a few of those like tricks. But okay.
It's a forest.
It's Lithuania for sure.
It might have been bamboo.
How could it not be Lithuania?
Should we look at the sky? There's
in the south.
So what does that mean?
We're in the northern hemisphere.
Okay. Oh, it's a barn.
Barn.
I like it.
Barn Joey.
Doesn't tell me anything though. Oh, is that a willow tree? Interesting.
Oh.
It's going to put us a little even further north. To me.
Oh, there's a sign over here. Gosh,
let's go look at it.
Bunder.
These are just mailboxes.
Not at all useful, no.
They're kind of cool mail. I mean, yeah, I don't know if that style of mailbox is telling me anything.
All right, no one has guessed.
It's America. I mean, probably not, but it could be. I don't know. Nope, that sign is not American.
Not Ireland. It's not Norway. It's not Denmark, Germany. Oh, someone got it. Oh, fuck. Okay. Not Finland. I'm 50-50ing. Oh, is it Lithuania? It was Estonia.
We're already out.
Okay, but it was right next to Lithuania. So I'm incredible still, and we had a great day.
We did have a great day. We did.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yes. Feel free to like, to subscribe, to hit the little notification bell, to leave a little message for us in the comments after the show. We love it. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
And go look up levparnas. He has done some very interesting like podcast type stuff. You can see him on TikTok, whatever your social media is. Go look up levparnas, and you can hear him talk about his involvement with Rudy Giuliani with regards to trying to find dirt on the Bidens. He's got some real interesting stuff to say, and you should go listen, because you're going to be like, what in the world? This dude was right in the middle of it. So go find him. It's good stuff. And thank you for keeping us company.
Absolutely.
Should we sing out? Oh, I lost the words. I want to push you around. That's what it is. I lost it. Well, I will.
Well, I will.
I wanna push you down.
Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna
Not take you for
you.
yeah, you wanna take you.
Granted.
Yeah, oh, I will. Bye.